Gentlemen, let me ask you something that might be uncomfortable, but it could change the way you see your nights forever. What if I told you that a single mistake before going to bed could be silently draining your masculinity, lowering your energy, and destroying your testosterone levels after 60? You may think your body is simply aging, that fatigue, lack of drive, or even weaker erections are inevitable. But the truth is, much of what you feel might not be a consequence of age itself. It might be this hidden mistake you repeat almost every single night without realizing it. As a urologist who has spent decades treating men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, I've seen patterns that most people overlook. Men come into my clinic exhausted, frustrated, embarrassed, convinced that their decline is a natural punishment of time. They whisper about their lost strength, their fading intimacy, and their restless nights, as if these things were secrets to be hidden. But what shocks me most is how often they are unknowingly sabotaging themselves with one small decision they make before closing their eyes at night. Imagine this. Your body is designed to renew itself during sleep. Testosterone, the very hormone that fuels your vitality, is naturally produced while you rest. It is in those quiet hours when the world is still that your body repairs, recharges, and rebuilds. But what if the very moment meant to restore your masculinity is actually the moment you're destroying it? What if every night, while you think you are helping yourself relax, you are in fact weakening the very foundation of your manhood? I want you to picture your mornings. Do you wake up energized, ready to live fully? Or do you wake up drained, sluggish, and unmotivated? Many men over 60 tell me they don't feel rested no matter how many hours they sleep. And when I ask them about their nighttime habits, I find the culprit almost every time. This mistake is so common, so ordinary, that it hides in plain sight. Yet it robs you of your strength, accelerates your decline, and eats away at your testosterone like a thief in the night. Stay with me, because tonight I'm not just going to expose what this bedtime mistake is. I'm going to show you how to break free from it, reclaim your vitality, and wake up feeling like yourself again. But before I reveal the full truth, let me first open your eyes to why this mistake is so destructive, and why stopping it could be the key to restoring your energy, your masculinity, and your confidence as a man over 60. Gentlemen, if you stay with me until the end of this video, you will discover not only the bedtime mistake that silently crushes your testosterone after 60, but also how to replace it with simple, practical actions that can reignite your energy, restore your vitality, and even bring back the passion you thought was lost. I'm not here to offer magic pills or empty promises. I am here as a physician, as someone who has walked side by side with men your age, who has listened to their struggles and seen their victories when they chose to change. Tonight, I will guide you step by step through what happens in your body when you make this mistake, why it is so destructive, and how it accelerates the loss of testosterone, robs you of your strength, and leaves you more vulnerable to fatigue, low mood, and poor circulation. But more importantly, I will give you the tools to reverse this damage. By the end of this video, you will not only know what to avoid, you will understand how to protect your hormone levels naturally and wake up with the vigor that a man deserves, no matter his age. Let me make you a promise. If you listen carefully, if you apply what I share, you may notice changes that go far beyond testosterone. Imagine waking up feeling rested, not dragging yourself out of bed. Imagine your mind clearer, your body lighter, your confidence renewed. Imagine intimacy no longer being a struggle, but a joy again. This is possible, not because I say so, but because biology is on your side once you stop sabotaging it. I will also open a loop for you, something I will only reveal at the very end. There is one specific tip, one small shift that most men overlook, and it is often the missing piece that can double the impact of your testosterone production at night. It is not complicated. It is not expensive, but it is hidden in plain sight. When I tell you what it is, you'll realize how simple it can be to turn the tide in your favor. So, stay with me, because this journey we are about to take together could mark the turning point between continuing down the road of decline or reclaiming the strength and masculinity that still lives within you. Gentlemen, before we go deeper, I want you to know something very important. You are not alone in this struggle. Every week in my clinic, I sit across from men in their 60s and 70s who carry the same worries you do. They tell me about their restless nights, their fading drive, their fear that they are slowly becoming a shadow of who they once were. Some of them whisper, ashamed, believing they are the only ones going through this. But the truth is, I hear the same stories again and again. I want you to picture this moment. A man, 68 years old, sits in front of me. His hands are trembling slightly as he explains how he wakes up exhausted no matter how early he goes to bed. He used to enjoy long walks with his wife, but now he can barely finish one block without feeling drained. He tells me intimacy has become rare, almost impossible, and he fears his wife sees him as weak. And when we uncover his habits, the bedtime mistake we're talking about is right there, hidden in plain sight. When he corrects it, within weeks his mornings begin to change. His eyes brighten, his steps regain strength, and the confidence in his voice returns. This is not a miracle, it's science, and it is within reach for every man who chooses to act. I share these stories not just as a doctor, but as someone who has dedicated decades of her life to men's health. I've studied the complex dance of hormones, circulation, and aging. I've seen how one overlooked habit can accelerate decline, and how one correction can unlock new life. That's why I speak to you not as a stranger, but as someone who understands, who has guided countless men through the same path you are walking right now. And let me tell you this. Masculinity doesn't end at 60. Vitality doesn't disappear at retirement. I have treated men well into their 70s and 80s who regained energy, intimacy, and joy once they stopped believing age had stolen it all. The mistake you are making at bedtime may be silent, but it is not irreversible. And together, we will uncover it and rebuild the foundation of your health. So, as you listen to me, know this. You are in the hands of someone who has seen both sides of the story, the suffering caused by this hidden mistake, and the transformation that happens when it is finally corrected. And tonight, I will walk with you toward that transformation. When a man crosses the threshold of 60, his body begins to change in ways that are often misunderstood. Many believe that the decline in testosterone, the constant fatigue, and the loss of intimacy are simply part of getting older, a destiny carved in stone. But as a physician, I can tell you, it is not just time that steals your vitality. It is the way your body interacts with your habits, especially at night, when your system should be healing and producing the very hormone that defines your masculinity. Let me explain. Testosterone is not created randomly throughout the day. It follows a rhythm, a biological clock. The peak of its production happens while you sleep, in the deep phases of rest when your brain signals your glands to release the fuel of manhood. This means that your nights are sacred. They are the workshop where your body rebuilds strength, repairs muscles, and restores the desire that keeps you feeling alive. But when that process is disrupted by a single harmful habit, the entire factory of testosterone slows down, sometimes even shutting off its potential. Think about how you feel when you wake up. Do you notice that your mornings are heavy, your motivation low, your mind foggy? That is not just aging. It is a sign that your body is not completing the essential repair cycle at night. The bedtime mistake we are talking about acts like a thief, stealing away the very hours meant to restore your hormones. It increases cortisol, the stress hormone, and when cortisol rises, testosterone falls. It blocks your body's ability to enter the deep sleep that fuels regeneration. It leaves your blood sugar unstable, your heart working harder, and your nights less restorative. The consequences ripple far beyond hormones. Men who make this mistake consistently not only feel weaker, but they face higher risks of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, weight gain around the belly, and even memory decline. It chips away at manhood from every angle: physical, emotional, and intimate. And worst of all, most men do not even know they are doing it. They see their bodies decline and assume it is just age, when in reality, they are sabotaging themselves night after night. But here's the most important truth. What is being lost can be rebuilt. Your body still has the ability to create testosterone, to repair, to strengthen. The decline is not destiny. The problem is not your age, it is the habit that is quietly destroying your nights. And once you understand it, once you stop feeding this mistake, you open the door for your body to heal itself again. Gentlemen, now that you understand how critical your nights are for testosterone, let me take you deeper into what truly happens when this mistake is made, and more importantly, what happens when it is corrected. I want you to imagine your body as a garden. At 60, 70, even 80, that garden can still flourish with strength and life. But every night, if you water it with the wrong substance, the soil becomes dry, the roots weaken, and growth fades. The bedtime mistake we're talking about is like pouring poison into the soil. Small amounts, but repeated night after night until vitality withers. One of the most common habits men fall into is consuming food or drink too close to bedtime, especially those high in sugar or alcohol. Many believe a late-night snack or a small drink helps them relax, but what it actually does is spike blood sugar, disturb insulin, and trigger cortisol. And as I told you before, when cortisol rises, testosterone falls. I have seen men cut out this simple mistake, replacing late-night indulgence with hydration and lighter meals earlier in the evening. And within weeks, they begin waking up with more energy, their weight stabilizes, and even their mood improves. Another powerful point is the relationship between sleep quality and testosterone. Men often think, I slept 8 hours, so I should feel rested. But if those hours are broken, if you are waking often, or if your body never reaches deep restorative sleep because of nighttime habits, whether it's screens, heavy meals, or alcohol, your testosterone factory never turns on. I had a patient who insisted age had stolen his intimacy forever. Yet when he adjusted his nighttime routine, reducing screen time, avoiding alcohol before bed, and committing to true rest, his hormone levels began to rise naturally. His wife noticed the difference before he even told her. And let me be clear, this is not about chasing youth with desperation. This is about giving your body the conditions it needs to function the way it was designed. There is a dangerous myth that after 60, men must accept weakness as normal. That myth is a lie. When you eliminate the bedtime mistake, you are not fighting against nature. You are aligning yourself with it. So I want you to hold on to this truth. Your nights can either be the enemy that steals your strength or the ally that rebuilds it. And the choice is in your hands. Soon, I will reveal the exact step that most men miss. The one secret shift that transforms everything when applied correctly. But first, let's bring all of this to a close with the revelation you have been waiting for. Gentlemen, you've stayed with me until this point, and now it is time to reveal the truth I promised at the very beginning. The bedtime mistake that is silently destroying your testosterone after 60 is late-night indulgence, whether it's eating heavy meals, consuming sugar, or reaching for alcohol right before sleep. What feels like comfort is, in reality, sabotage. Instead of helping your body rest, these habits trigger insulin spikes, elevate cortisol, and rob your system of the deep, restorative sleep where testosterone is made. Night after night, this becomes a slow poison that weakens your manhood. But here's the part that most men miss, the open loop I left for you earlier. The secret isn't only in avoiding the mistake, it's in what you replace it with. If you finish your last meal at least 3 hours before bed, keep it light and balanced, and let your body enter the night on calm, steady rhythms, you create the perfect environment for testosterone to rise naturally. Pair that with proper hydration and a calm, screen-free wind down, and your nights become your greatest ally. I have seen men transform their lives with this single change. One of my patients, a 72-year-old grandfather, believed his best years were behind him. He admitted to sipping whiskey every night to fall asleep. When he replaced that habit with warm herbal tea and earlier dinners, within weeks his mornings were different. He told me with tears in his eyes that he felt energy in his body he hadn't felt in decades. His intimacy returned, his confidence bloomed, and his grandchildren noticed he was smiling more. That is the power of correcting this mistake. And I want you to take this personally, because it belongs to you too. You are not condemned to weakness, nor sentenced to fading away. Your body still holds the ability to restore itself, but only if you stop sabotaging it. Tonight, when you go to bed, remember my words. Ask yourself, am I feeding strength or am I feeding decline? This is your moment of decision. Will you continue letting this hidden mistake erode your masculinity, or will you take control and allow your body to heal? The choice is yours, and the results could redefine the rest of your life. If this message spoke to you, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me how your nights are now, and what change you are ready to make. And don't forget, there is always more to learn, more to reclaim. In our next video, I will reveal another powerful secret that could further unlock your vitality after 60. So stay with me, because your journey is only beginning.